We know of between 20 and 30 electors that are talking privately about defecting from Trump. There's one who's gone public already, who was a first responder on 9/11, lifetime Republican. If the electors listen to their conscience and consider this Russian interference, and consider the conflicts of interest, we hope that many of them are going to reject him on that day. We know between 20 and 30, okay, have already come forward to do so. What number does it take? 38, okay. Be there on Monday, December 19th. Go to december19.us, sign up, join thousands of people across the country who are going to be part of this moment of standing up for our country, of standing up for democracy, of standing up for patriotism, and calling to the electors to listen to the will of the people, to do what's right for our country, and to reject Trump.
I know you guys from Democracy Spring. Kai, I know you from before that. I filmed you guys get arrested. I also filmed Lawrence Lessig get arrested during Democracy Spring. And as a Harvard law professor, he and a colleague are offering, why don't you explain? They're offering legal counsel to the electors.
Yeah, it's called the Electors Trust, I believe, and they've set up this organization with the firm, a law firm, that is there to provide free legal counsel and support to any elector that wants to come forward and vote their conscience.
He's sexist, he's racist, but along with that, he's just not fit for it. He has no experience, he hasn't done any of that. With the new CIA revelations that have come about with Putin hacking our democracy.
Well, let's roll back for a second. The FBI just announced, and that's Trump land. The FBI just announced that they agree with the CIA.
We know that they care about this Russian interference. We know that they care about the conflicts of interest. We know they care about having a president who is competent, who is fit, okay, who can be responsible to deal with crises. And Trump gets agitated and starts shooting off crazy tweets. What is he going to do when he's faced with real problems, with real crises?
Okay, so you've got volunteers working upstairs as well. I can hear them. They're louder up there for some reason. I don't know. Maybe they're on break. What are you guys working on?
Well, right now we're working on trying to mobilize, getting local leaders, local volunteers in all the 50 states, including and also DC. And right now we're working on mobilizing those folks and helping, supporting them, coaching them.
Every once in a while I hear you guys say, we got one in Wyoming, we got one in... what is that about?
It's just the volunteers and the state coordinators that we're, making sure that all states are covered with state coordinators, organizers, nonviolent marshals, because safety is like #1 priority that we're really trying to make sure that we cover.
It's the state capitol buildings of all 50 states.
Yep.
And DC.
And DC. Okay, so the U.S. Capitol?
No, there
Capitol.
it's another building, the Wilson Building, something like that. What is
City
it?
Council.
City Council.
Oh, the City Council.
For us in Democracy Spring, we came together around getting big money out of politics and ending voter suppression. And this election is in part likely to be decided by voter suppression. It's a crisis for the democracy movement. If Trump gets in, he's going to appoint a Supreme Court justice who will defend Citizens United, almost certainly. It's going to be a huge setback for our movement, along with all the progressive struggles that we're in solidarity with. But we've got to do whatever we can to stop it. And we're on strong grounds to do so because he lost the popular vote by almost 3 million votes, and it's growing every day. And I don't think, if you look at the decisive swing states, if you took out the massive voter suppression that happened, that he would have made those razor-thin margins, and they did everything they could to shut down the recounts. And that's not even talking about the FBI's intervention or Russian interference, which we're learning about more every day. That casts the legitimacy of this election in doubt. If you care about our country, we need to have a legitimate process for choosing president. That is fundamentally in doubt right now, and the electors are the ones who can change that.
And what I learned since this whole thing started was that the actual reason why we have an electoral college, it's in some writing that Hamilton did, has to do with preventing a foreign government from basically appointing a Manchurian candidate. Right?
That's part of it, to prevent a foreign power from having an ascendant in our councils. I think that's the.
I'm sure Manchurian candidate wasn't the term.
I think that's the quote.
So you trust me more than American CIA?
All I know is I won.
Wow, this guy is blowing my mind. Donald, I want to state officially that we in Russia are so happy that you are U.S. president.
Oh, thank you.
We think you are the best candidate.
Sure.
The smartest candidate.
No doubt.
The Manchurian candidate.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds tremendous.
Many of the electors have said that they need a briefing from the intelligence agencies about what's happening, what happened with the Russian interference before they vote. And if it comes to pass on that day that they haven't been briefed and it goes forward, then they have no choice, if they want to be certain that they're not putting someone in power who was was placed there in part by the intervention of a foreign government led by an authoritarian, okay, but to reject Trump.
So then, if Trump doesn't get 270 and gets thrown to the House of Representatives,
That's right.
Okay, and you trust that the House of Representatives, with the security clearance that they have, they can make a more informed choice?
Well, I think it'll extend the matter.
So the person has said, how do I find my organizer in Michigan?
So whatever state it is, what you can do is go to the website, december19.us. Again, it's december19.us. And each state is there. So you're going to click on your state. Every single capital has a Facebook event on Democracy Spring's website, Facebook. So you can go to the Facebook, find your capital, find your event, join that, share that, invite your friends there. And say, hey, I'm ready to meet you all, and that's how you'll be able to find
Okay,
me.
I accept it. I accept the idea that if there's thousands of people at every state capital, it might kind of influence these people as they go to cast their ballots, because it needs to be something that makes them prioritize the national interest and global security above something that's been a lot more present in their lives, which is we don't like them, they don't like us, we don't like their policies, they don't like our policies.
Well, look, I think that there are a lot of different folks who are bringing this message. The role that we've had is to mobilize all the people, okay, who want and need this change, okay, to be there on that day. There are a lot of folks who are talking directly to the electors. They're talking amongst themselves. Hamilton Electors is pushing that. Chris Super, the elector, who's come out publicly and said he won't support Trump, they're talking to them. There are more pieces to this puzzle than just what we're doing. But what would I say? And you can share whatever you would say, to a Republican elector, and I'll back you up.
Well, you're there to vote your conscience, and you're there to, it's not just you and it's not your values, but it's also the will of the American people. And, basically it's our lives. Like, you have this chance now to stop it. The Trump presidency will be a danger, not just to us, but to the country, to the world, to the climate. And it's time to put, humanity and peace and love above all else, really. Like this, it's gotten to the point, like Trump is just too dangerous and too vile to have as a president.